Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm your host Ash and you are on Generation Z Entrepreneurs. Guys, if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe to it. Please hit the bell icon so whenever we upload new content, you're notified, and like the video. We will really appreciate it. Alright, if you read the title, so today's title is UPU. So let's talk a little bit about what UPU is and how it is impacting our business, whether it's a positive or negative. We'll talk about all of that. So UPU stands for Universal Postal Union. This treaty was created back in 1874 in Bern, Switzerland. The purpose of this treaty was to bring a number of countries or member countries together, so there's easy way to ship mail from one country to another. The three factors that were in that in that treaty were there will be a universal flat rate to ship an item or a letter from one country to another. The second factor was if the item is shipped from one country to another, the receiving country will treat the mail as will treat the mail as a domestic mail. So it's not going to favor domestic mail over international mail. That was the second factor, or the second key element to this treaty. And the third key element was that the country is going to collect all the money that is coming from this from the international mail. All right. So that was a treaty that was created back in 1874. It happened. The treaty took place in Switzerland, and there were a number of countries. Up until recently, there were about 192 countries that were part of this treaty. So let's fast forward to where we are right now. When the treaty was created, it was purely for sending mail. When we look at our current affairs, we know that what are we shipping? We ship mail, but not anymore as much. A lot of our communication is taking place via phone or through an email. So not many people are shipping out letters, but instead we have e-commerce, and due to e-commerce, we're shipping out items, things, and because of that, we are, as a country, our United States Postal Services is losing millions of dollars because of that treaty. Now, why are we losing millions of dollars? It was decided at some point that China was a third world country, and in order for Chinese seller to flourish, American consumers like you and I, or the American citizens like you and I, would have to chip in so that they won't have to pay as much on the shipping cost. Now, just to give you an idea of what I am talking about, let's say if I am based in New Jersey, and my office is in Newark, and I wanted to ship an item to the next town over from Newark, which is Kearney. The item is a 2-pound item. It's not a big item, but it's weigh about 2 pounds. It will cost me minimum $6.95 if I were to use flat rate envelope. Now, if the same exact package is coming from China, it will cost them maybe $1.99 to ship that item. I read somewhere that it will cost, so shipping an item that is weighed all the way up to 4 pounds, it will only cost them $1.99. Now, for me, if I'm shipping within the state, it will cost me bare minimum $6.95. But let's say if I'm shipping it from New Jersey, let's say, to California, and it's 4 pounds, I'm looking at minimum $10. I mean, I ship items day in, day out. $10. I mean, this is absurd. I mean, I'm in the US, shipping in US, and I'm paying $10. Somebody who's based in China shipping to US is only paying $1.99 bare minimum, which is crazy. So if you were to ask me, I think President Trump made a very good move by taking us out of that treaty, because we, as a citizen of the country and as the United States Postal Services, losing a lot of money. If I read it somewhere, they were losing every year $300 million just from this treaty, because of the shipments that are coming from, especially from China. I have nothing against China, but that's the reality right now. Now, am I happy as a seller? I'm a little happy. Why? Because I have noticed that in the past, if I'm selling something, I can sell an item, and the same person selling an item from China. In order for me to compete with that person, I would have to bring my price to a point where I'm not making any money. Now, as a seller, what we all do when we are putting up a price, we have that leeway in that price, so that if we have one or two return, we can eat that return and still be able to make some income. But competing with Chinese sellers, it was crazy, or it still is crazy. That treaty, I think, is going to nullify by the end of September. I think the first week of October they will start paying full price. Now, I think I think we will, as U.S. sellers, we will have some positive impact from this. This holiday season, especially those of us who sells a lot on eBay, but those of us that do purchase from China and bring a lot of the inventory from China, you would have some impact. Because of this treaty, nothing is going to happen to big exporter from China, because they already have warehouses and other things in place. To them, it's not going to be an issue. It is going to impact some small sellers from China, because now they would have to pay somewhat of a full price shipping an item from China to America. I wanted to do this video because I'm ecstatic about this, because that was my frustration for a long time, that I'm shipping an item. Why is it that my shipping cost is like $3? The same person shipping it from China, they can offer 99 cents. I don't even know how these people are making any income by selling something so cheap. But I think what this will do, I think, level the playing field between us and the Chinese seller. We'll see how it's going to pan out in the long run, but I think for a short duration, I think it will be positive for us U.S. seller. Let's hope if we come up with a new, or if the U.S. government signs a new treaty, it's not going to be a 1, 2, 3 thing. It will take a couple of months before it will be in effect. So I think by the time everything all squares up, it will be back in probably January or February of next year. And by then we will know exactly how this is going to impact our business here in the U.S. So I'm very hopeful that this would have a positive impact on my business, and I'm sure it will have a positive impact on all of your businesses if you are buying your inventory here in the U.S. and mostly selling it here in the U.S., which what I do. I do have some international sales, not really, couple here and there. I get orders, and a lot of times when I'm shipping heavy items, so I end up paying hundreds of dollars in shipping. Now, I'm not paying it out of my pocket. This buyer is buying it, they're buying the shipping, and they're the one paying for it. So I don't think it will impact me as much, but I think those of us that do sell a lot to other countries, it will impact them, and we'll see how it's going to pan out in the long run. Thank you so much for listening to me. I'll be back with another episode, and I think in my next episode I'm going to talk a little bit about USPS and their different services that they provide, or the packaging that they provide to US sellers. Until then, stay safe, and we'll talk again. Goodbye.